principle of the oneness of humanity and the rich diversity of racial, cultural, ethnic, religious, and multifaceted identities of its inhabitants. And whereas friendship, collegiality, civility, respect, and kindness are commonly shared ideals of the people of the township of Teaneck, and whereas interpersonal, internalized, and systemic racism has harmfully affected our town and the nation at large for hundreds of years, and race amity efforts are a vital piece in healing and creating a just society that is safe, equitable, and welcoming to all. And whereas organizations and communities across the township of Teaneck, motivated by the ideals behind the motto of E Pluribus Unum, have joined together in introspection and reflection on the importance of diversity and racial amity. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the township of Teaneck, 1, designates the second Sunday of June to be Race Amity Day, an annual day of racial amity and reconciliation. 2, supports all groups in Teaneck who are working toward the goals and ideals of racial amity. And 3, finally, encourages the people of Teaneck to recognize and to celebrate its annual observance. And this proclamation is signed by the entire council. Mr. Clerk, I think you have a brief announcement about this as well.
And we are indeed having a Race Amity Day celebration on the Municipal Green. That's Sunday, June 11th, 2 to 3 p.m. Sunday, June 11th, 2 to 3 p.m. on the Municipal Green. We'll be celebrating Race Amity Day.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And also a quick shout out to former Councilwoman Javon Romney Rice. Thank you for joining us tonight. And also welcome to our new attorney, Scott Salmon. Welcome aboard, sir. And the next presentation is a TVAC recognition, which will be led by lifetime member Mark Schwartz and former female president, I think first female president, Karen Organ, and lifetime member Deputy Mayor Ellie Y. Katz.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, okay, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. A lot of friends, family here tonight. With the last few years, we did this outside in the heat, so I'm really happy to be in the air conditioning. We have a few awards giving out tonight, just some brief details. We're going to start with our CPR saves, and as I've said this in the past, right now there's about 100 people that you're looking at tonight in this room, and there's more on TV. There are 6 CPR saves that were done by TVAC in 2022. That means tonight, 6 people are watching or could be watching that would not be here with us if that was not the case, if you guys weren't there. More than those 6 people, there would be grieving families, dozens and dozens of grieving family members that would be doing the same, that wouldn't even be focusing on their summer plans because their loved ones had departed if it wasn't for TVAC. I know some people had left on a call. I heard the pagers going off. So I thank everyone for coming out tonight, and we missed those that left. So with that, we're going to start with our list of recipients for the CPR saves. I'm going to call you guys up. My goal is to get another CPR save. I haven't gotten one since on council because I want to give one to myself, but I keep trying. So with that, I'll start if I pronounce your names wrong, I do apologize. Eitan Spivak, 2 CPR saves. Please come on up, Eitan. Okay. And we're going to clap after each name. If you save a life, we can clap for a few seconds after each name. Rebecca Zaritsky, please come up. Not here. Yes. No problem. And while I'm doing that, if I just ask the captain and the chiefs to come up as well. And President Danny Center, if you can please come up as well. Chief Ezra Finkelstein, Captain Zach Cohn, please come up as well. Okay. Mitch Schaefer, 2 CPR saves. I see you here. Okay. Amira Eris. Thank you. Eris. Erin Park, please come up. Erin Park. Not here. Okay. Joe Mack, please. I didn't see him. Not here either. Okay. Lil Elias, please come up. Thank you. Okay. Hala Ishmael, please come up. She got married. If I think I saw him, just got engaged. Congratulations. I did see that email. Captain Zach Cohn is already up here. Okay. Liam Steady. I did not see Liam. Is he here tonight? He's on the call, trying to go for another one. Adi Siegel. I didn't see Adi either. Camille Parker. Okay. 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 The family's got to cheer a little louder than that. So here's a good family cheer right now. Zoe Gottesman. Okay. Pretty sure I taught her everything she knows. Yaakov Unzel. Yaakov, I saw you here. Come on up. Here's Zahava Ginsburg. Not here. Yuda Friedman. Yudi. Okay. Long-time life member Avi Levenbrown. I did not see Avi tonight. Okay, Bobby Alexo. Okay. Avram Walkenfeld. Scott Reese, our training officer. Exactly. Scott's a living example of practicing what he preaches. Obviously, it's our CPR instructor. Michael Kahn. Michael? That's how many CPR saves do you have by now? Lost count. Excellent. Anastasia Pecky. Captain, lieutenant, a whole bunch of them. Okay. And last, longtime member and current president, Daniel Center. Sorry, President Center is being cheered on by his mother. Was your mother who's here? There is our longtime Board of Adjustment chairwoman. Okay. Folks, this is our 2022 CPR award recipients. Okay, so why don't you guys stay up here? We'll go on to the next awards. Okay, the next award we have looks like 3 or 4 more. The Unit Citation Award. Unit Citation Award comes with a story. On the date of the incident was September 24th, 2022. TVAC responded to a 3-car MVA with entrapment and a vehicle rollover on I-95. Upon arrival, it was determined that there were multiple patients. 3 TVAC ambulances were dispatched to the scene. The following TVAC members worked in unison to triage, treat, and transport the patients to local hospitals. Their teamwork on this call is the very meaning of working as a unit, which led to successful patient care in this traumatic situation. Captain Ezra Finkelstein. Training Officer Scott Reese. Yosef Kaplan. Michael Kahn. Captain Zach Cohn. Anastasia Pecky. And Yaakov Unzel. Congratulations. And I don't believe our Bergen County Sheriff's officers here. It was a partnership award, also for that same incident on September 24th. Bergen County Sheriff's Officer Tyler Matter was one of the first arriving police officers on scene. Officer Matter provided life-saving measures to a patient who was pinned underneath the vehicle. While doing so, he put himself in harm's way while applying a tourniquet to the patient. For his actions, TVAC presents to Officer Matter the TVAC Partnership Award. Congratulations. And the last award I'll be giving out before I turn it over to Councilwoman Karen Organ is the Meritorious Service Award dated December 30th, 2022 to Bobby Alexu. And I'm reading about that now. These would be great if we had videos for these type of calls, but we'll go with this. While traveling through Tinton Falls, Bobby Alexu observed a vehicle that was crossed into the oncoming lane of traffic and rolled to a stop. He observed the driver to be slumped over the steering wheel in what appeared to be an unresponsive state. Bobby took immediate action, donned his TVAC response vest and his medic bag, and rendered patient care. Upon assessing that the driver and the patient was in an overdose state, he observed that he was in an overdose state. Police arrived on scene shortly thereafter, and Bobby asked them if they had Narcan on them. Bobby administered the Narcan, which resulted in a positive patient outcome. For his actions on this evening and for his representation of TVAC, he is awarded the Meritorious Service Award. Council? You don't want to come down, Councilwoman Woman? And while Councilwoman Organ's coming down here, we want to congratulate her and her family. I believe Jamie Organ, her daughter, was the #1 responder last month with like 57 calls, I believe. So. Nice. Okay. No,
I get nothing to read about you. So I don't even know how many people in this room are over 40 years old. But to have contributed 40 years of your life to the ambulance corps, I don't even know what we have to give you, but you deserve so much. To my friend who introduced me to cruising, to the ambulance corps' biggest cheerleader who shows up every year on July 4th to document everything so that we have pictures of all these wonderful people, to the person who manned the fort on Saturday morning for so many years, who rode during COVID and suffered personally because of it. You are a hero. I don't even know in what way the town could give back to you for all that you've done. And I don't think there's anyone at the ambulance corps who doesn't love you with all their heart. There's nobody that walks into the building that you don't greet and welcome. And Teaneck is so lucky to have you. The ambulance corps is so lucky to have you. And I'm so happy that you are my friend. And I wish I could see you more than just to give you 40-year awards and at picnics and on the 4th of July. But I'll speak for everyone and say that we love you very much. So come get this and give me a hug.
40 years ago, 39 years ago, we did a membership drive and we did a poster, Making Friends for Life. And it's not just the CPR saves and that sort of thing in the life side of it, but it's making friends that you will have forever. And many of these guys are all, and gals, all fall into that. So thank you.
We have one more year of service. Ari, you're not going to get a welcome like that at 20 years. For 20 years, you don't get that. But, you know, you got 20 more years to come up. So, Ari, you have some family in attendance tonight. Ari is celebrating 20 years on the TVAC ambulance, Teaneck ambulance. I remember when Ari joined, I believe I joined around 21 years ago, and I remember growing up with Ari. And it was always good to have someone else who was a little on the older side, not just 15 years old. And we still look like we're 15 or 20. So with that, Ari, please come up. 20 years, that's 20 years. Sunday night. What's especially important about that, like Pete mans the fort on Saturday morning, Sunday nights, while we're all enjoying the end of our weekend, Ari's coming down there. Not 7 o'clock, I think 8 o'clock, right? That's the 8 o'clock. He comes that 1 hour differential, but he stays till midnight every single Sunday night for 20 years watching this town. Congratulations.
I'm going to say something about TVAC. You know, we at Teaneck are so fortunate to have such an amazing group of men and women that are helping our residents 24/7, 365 days a year, and not one person gets paid. And at a time when volunteers and volunteering in ambulance squads, unfortunately and sadly, is going away throughout the state, throughout the country, we have the most exceptional ambulance squad. And Teaneck is fortunate to have you. The people that work here, shop here, drive through here are lucky to have you. And we have a great leadership. You have a great new Gator, which I drove. Don't tell anybody. There's not too many videos about it. Pete and I travel the country, believe it or not. We sometimes go to the same trade shows. And, you know, when it was mentioned by Councilmember Organ, about anyone who walks into the building gets this huge welcome. Whenever I walk into this trade show, all of a sudden I hear my name. I could be in Ohio, Nebraska, or whatever. Always Pete welcoming me, and it's such a nice, pleasant surprise. I've had the opportunity to go on calls with you as well. Real professional, continued much health for another 40 years, hopefully, right? And hopefully I'll continue seeing you at some more trade shows. But thank you very much. And for the residents that might not have donated yet to the Teaneck Volunteer Ambulance Corps, please be generous, help out the ambulance corps because they're here to help you, and all your money goes to saving lives. It doesn't go to administrative fluff or things like that. It literally goes to saving lives. Thank you.
Okay, last picture. Everyone got pictures? Pictures? Okay. Congratulations, guys.
Mr. Schwartz, thank you so much. Mr. Katz, thank you. Ms. Organ, thank you. Ms. Belcher, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to say that thank you for your service. And thank you for your service to our township. We really appreciate it.
Ms. Goldberg, can you hear us on Zoom? Is there anything you would like to say, ma'am? Ms. Goldberg, can you hear us, ma'am? In the meantime, until she comes back, I just want to say thank you all so very much for everything that you do for our hometown and our residents. Congratulations to all of our honorees. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And please always be safe out there. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Karen, you'll do the proclamation? The EMS proclamation, up to you. Up to you. If you want to talk about it or read it, whatever you want to do. Good job. Good job.
Yeah, we don't have time. Her dad is.
Yeah, Javon.
You ready, Mr. Clerk? Once again, thank you so very much to TVAC. Our next order of business is a proclamation recognizing National EMS Week. Ms. Organ, the floor is yours, ma'am.
So I don't really know that the proclamation does a whole lot after we have our own real life organization here. But Gerald Ford said it was so in 1974. And so whereas paramedics, EMTs, and EMS volunteers have responded to the emergency medical needs of Teaneck's residents at all hours of the day and night, 7 days a week, often at great inconvenience and personal sacrifice in their own personal and family lives. And whereas it is fitting and proper for the Township Council of the Township of Teaneck to recognize and acknowledge the emergency medical services provided to the residents of the Township of Teaneck by the Teaneck Volunteer Ambulance Corps by designating May 21st to 27th, 2023 as EMS Week in the Township of Teaneck. Now therefore you, Michael Pagan, Mayor of the Township of Teaneck, on behalf of the entire Township Council, do hereby proclaim May 21st to 27th, 2023 as EMS Week in the Township of Teaneck in recognition and celebration of all those who provide emergency medical service to protect and preserve the health and safety of residents of the Township of Teaneck. And just to add on something Dean was saying, we are very lucky here that our ambulance corps, this is only part of it. Some are out on calls. They have 5 ambulances operating at once. They have over 100 members active, and nobody else in the state, I think, has that. And Teaneck actually provides mutual aid services to other towns. I know they went to Fort Lee the other night. They've gone as far as Paramus. So to have an ambulance corps like this is very rare in this day and age, and we're very blessed.
Thank you so, so very much, Ms. Organ. TVAC is so very important to our hometown. Next under presentations is Police Chief for a Day. Is that you, Mr. Manager?
It's not, I'll be.
Yes, please, sir.
Okay, this is Police Chief. Police Chief for a Day, 2023. It's something that's held every year. This is the same proclamation here, right, Doug? Or no? Yes. So, whereas on June 2nd, 2023, the Teaneck Police Department will participate in the Bergen County Chief for a Day initiative. And whereas the members of the Teaneck Police Department play an integral role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of Teaneck. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties and responsibilities of law enforcement in their community. And whereas as an honorary chief for the day, Elizabeth Yevu will learn about the inner workings of law enforcement in their community. And whereas it is fitting and proper that the Township of Teaneck, along with our community, observe June 2nd, 2023 as Elizabeth Yevu Day to honor their interest in law enforcement. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Township Council, the Township of Teaneck, on behalf of its citizens, do hereby proclaim June 2nd, 2023 as Chief Jamala Colt, as, I have this right here, Doug, on a proclamation. As Chief Elizabeth Yevu Day. And that's on behalf of the mayor and Teaneck Council.
Thank you, Mr. Manager, and thank you to them for doing that. Let's see, the next order of business is work session items, miscellaneous. Does anyone on council have anything for miscellaneous? No, next is old business. Anyone have anything for old business? New business? No, moving on. Communications, Teaneck Ethics Board, Councilwoman Goldberg, are you with us, ma'am? If so, the floor is yours. Okay, maybe we can come back. Let's see, moving on, committee reports. by
Wait, Mr.
council-
Mayor, can you hear me?
Ah,
Can you hear me?
perfect. Yes. You wanted to say something about TVAC, so please feel free to say something about TVAC. And if you can also tell us about the Teaneck Ethics Board.
Yes, really quickly, I wanted to thank Councilmember Schwartz, Oregon Deputy Mayor Katz, for the TVAC presentation. I thought it was wonderful. Everyone recognized tonight deserves it. Thank you for your incredible hard and selfless work to this community. TVAC is a really incredible gem to our township, and one that I wholeheartedly support. They've been there for my family countless times, and sorry that we drive you crazy with my father's binder. And you've been there for me personally after a very, very scary experience in my own life that I will never forget. And I unfortunately had to call you on Sunday when I witnessed a woman on Teaneck Road having a seizure, and you were there within 2 minutes, no joke. And also I want to thank your family, as someone that was formerly married to a professional EMT. I'm aware and conscious of the time that your family sacrifices as well, so thank you for that. And as Deputy Mayor Katz said, I encourage residents to support our ambulance company. Now moving on to communications. I received a email, it's in the agenda packet, from John Paff regarding the ethics board, but the part that I want to really highlight and ask our new attorney to look into, and I'll just read the pertinent part. It's regarding the financial disclosure statements. He asked the question whether members of the Historic Preservation Commission and Cedar Lane Management Group ought to be listed on the roster for boards that require financial disclosure statements. I believe currently our Historic Preservation Commission is required to, but John Paff's question was based on the law that the Cedar Lane Management Group is structured under. Do they also need to file financial disclosure statements as well? So I'm just included that communication in and asked that our new attorney look into that and get back to us on that.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman. I think you were asking our attorney to look into that and to report back to us.
Yeah, and
correct?
I'll forward him I'll forward the attorney to him as well also, for him to look into, but I just wanted to put that out
All
there.
right. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Councilwoman. Thank you so much. Next order of business is committee reports by council liaisons. First up, Historic Preservation Commission, Historic Locations Map. Ms. Belcher?
Yes, I'm super excited to kind of talk a little bit about the Google map that the Historic Preservation Subcommittee is working on. This is a very comprehensive map that yeah, you're going to have an opportunity to see. It's really cool. It's really nice. This is just want to say something about it is that, you know, we're in this time of year where we are, you know, hosting, we're more outside, we're maybe hosting family reunions, and you're having visitors come into town. This is a great tool to share with people that don't know Teaneck, or even people that do know, you know, live in Teaneck, because this is an interactive map that really shows all of our great historic locations. So on that note, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, Kevin, whenever you're ready, you see the big green button, share screen, right?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much.
Nice. Good to
Um,
see you, Mr. Force.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Councilwoman Belcher and the rest of the council for the opportunity to present to you all tonight on behalf of the Historic Preservation Commission. My name is Kevin Force, and I'm joined here by my fellow commissioner, Deke Valerio. And we'd like to just give you a quick demonstration of our map of historic and other notable sites in the township of Teaneck that we would like to make available for the public. So I've gone ahead to share my screen. I just want to make sure that everyone is able to see it.
We see it nice and clear.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so I will just give a quick demonstration. This is essentially a Google pin map. It uses the Google Maps platform, which is a very universally adopted platform. It can be easily exported and uploaded to various websites that incorporate maps through Google Maps. It's a free platform that is available for anyone to use. So we went ahead and created a map with some noteworthy sites in Teaneck. As of right now, we have 6 categories. We have parks, historic sites, public art, memorials, landmarks, and notable people. I'll run through some examples of those in just a moment. But just a little bit about navigating the map. You can see within the township of Teaneck, all of our items, you know, can seem a little bit cluttered, but you're able to zoom in to the map on different scales. And just for an example, I'm going to zoom in on the municipal complex here as it appears on the map. And you can see that there are notable, numerous monuments and public artworks that are located right here in the municipal complex. And the map that we've chosen has the streets labeled on it to help with navigation. There's also an option to change the base map to a satellite view, which can provide you know, another type of view to help with viewing. So just to share a few examples, I'll share one of our parks. The commission was working to create some text for markers at each of the township parks that tells a little bit of the history about them. And so when you click on a park, it will come up with the information about that park. I will choose as another example a historic site here, the James Van Delinda House. We've included the address of the house, the information that goes on the historical marker in front of the house, And for all the sites that we had where we were able to obtain photos, we did include those as well. And you can click on the photo to make it a little larger. As an example, we have several items of public art. I'll show the Black Lives Matter mural. When you click on it, it zooms you into the site of where the mural is located, including the address and the a little write-up of information that we'd like to put on a plaque at the site of the mural. We have memorials. An example would be the World War I memorial on the side of the library here at the municipal complex. Landmarks, for example, the Bryant School integration. We're working on our commission meeting this evening about looking to get a marker, a physical marker for the site. But at this time, while a physical marker has not yet been placed, anyone who is viewing the map is able to, pull it up right here, see the location of the school and the text that is to go on the marker. And lastly, we had a couple examples that didn't really fit into this landmarks category. We want to ultimately have sort of a temporary designation for Lizette Parker and Ulysses K, but at the time when we don't have a designated marker at the site of their former residences, we have them on the website as well. And one last thing I'd just like to mention about the map is that you can see that it gets a little bit cluttered with all the items on it, but each of these separate layers can be turned off. So let's say, for example, you want to focus only on historic sites. You can, check the boxes, and now you're only seeing the historic sites. And not only can they be turned off, but each one of these has the option to be exported and made into a separate map as well. They don't have to be all just clustered together on one map as we have it here. But we like the idea of having it, comprehensive, showing everything we've put together as well. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to my fellow Commissioner Deek to talk a little bit further about some potential future ideas that we have for the map.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Yeah, so one of the things nice about this map and being online and being, based off of Google Maps, it is fully customizable. If the council has, additional ideas or additional categories, or if even the local groups within the community have other categories that, has some historical significance and, can that they want to share to others, it's something definitely, it can be added into the map for others to view and get additional information in terms of, some of those items with historical importance. So, and also one of the key benefits of this map is that, it is a tool. The community, we can use it as a tool to get the community involved in learning more about, the history around them, but also kind of use it as a tool to, for the community to add on to it. If, let's say we have a longtime resident that has some knowledge in which they, are willing to share, we can absolutely use this as an avenue to kind of share that information, just kind of what Kevin mentioned previously of just adding additional categories. And I guess lastly, one of the big points too here is, everything is all online. Anyone with a link to this, or even, even a QR code can be generated where, users, let's say, QR code is placed on the actual marker itself. They're able to, as long as they have the link or they're able to scan on their phone a QR code, they should be able to get this information that Kevin presented here, or any future information that is added, where it can kind of, supplement some of the text that we have in the markers to kind of make it more of a like a multimedia type of experience. And, so there's really a lot of different applications that can be used for this map. And, what we show right here is currently is the current state, but it's not to say that, this is the final state. Definitely it could be a living document or something that can constantly evolve to how the community sees or sees fit with how they want to capture and share information to the water community. And I guess one of the reasons we wanted to meet with the council is with the commission working on this map for the past several months, I think we've reached the stage where we would really like to share it to the community, have it something that they can begin looking at and taking a view of all the various places that is around them. And I guess one of the ask or one of the things hopefully we can bring to the council is to see if there is any potential for housing this either on the TNEC website or even on the library website, just to get the information out there so that the community can start to take a look at it and add on to it, or just digest the information that is currently on it. Kevin, do you have any closing comments or anything you want to add?
Not at this time. Deke, thank you very much. I'd just like to open it up if anyone on the council has any questions.
Thank you, Councilwoman Belcher. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Deke. This is very exciting stuff because we have a lot of history in TNEC and we are very proud of it. Does anyone on council have any questions for Councilwoman Belcher or Kevin or Deke? Karen.
Not a question, but just a comment. This is fantastic. And I think it's just one of those things that makes the township special. It's just another layer of something. And I think this is fantastic. Great work.
Thank you.
Anybody else on council? Mr. Manager, can we maybe talk offline about whether we can put this on the website or the library's website or in the future?
Sure, we have, sure, we have sections on our website that I think this would find an appropriate home for, as well as the library. There's no harm, no foul. Putting it on both.
Fantastic.
We're also working on a bunch of these park signs. I think every park sign or park that they have denoted here, we are working on getting printed up on a sign. We were talking about that a couple months ago. That's in the queue also. So that would be also awesome once that's done. Nice.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Deke. Thank you, Councilwoman Belcher.
Thank you so much. We, again, we're grateful for the opportunity to share this, and please feel free to reach out to us with questions at any time. And we look forward to discussing future possibilities, including hosting this for the public.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much. Does
Thank you.
anyone else on council have any committee reports? Yes, Mr. Schwartz.
Sorry, one quick reminder, Monday is from the Cedar Lane Management Group. Monday is Memorial Day, is our annual Memorial Day affair. Dean, remind me, Mr. Manager, it goes from 11 to 4, 11 to 5? 11 to 5?
11 to 5.
11 to 5, so please come on out.
A lot of family fun. Anybody else on council?
Mr. Mayor, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, Ms. Goldberg, go ahead.
Just a really, really quick update. The Environmental Commission is looking to move us with New Jersey Sustainable to the next level, which would open up some more grant opportunities for us. And they're going to be looking into that and further presenting on it. So I just wanted to let the council know that, because that would open up more grant opportunities for us, which is great.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Ms. Belcher?
Yes, I just wanted to give another report, and this is from the Stigma Free Advisory Board. You guys may already know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and they're actually sponsoring on June 9th a community-wide meditation walk. And this will be open to the public. It is a Friday. I know June 9th is a Friday, but it's 10 a.m. So if anyone would like to come out in support of that, please do so. You don't have to register. It's at the Rada Center, Voti Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Belcher. The next order of business is council listed items, but seeing nothing there, we're going to move on to the township manager's report. Mr. Kaczynski, the floor is yours, sir.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Again, just to remind everyone, Memorial Day, May 29th, 11 a.m. Municipal Green. We do have a new monument there that we will be dedicating. Please, if you can, show up for that special event. Again, that's May 29th, Monday at 11. Who knows? These are some important dates. The splash pad opens up at VOT this coming weekend. The pool and the splash pad then open up full time, and that takes place the beginning of June 17th. So the splash pad on weekends starting Memorial Day, and then the pool and splash pad are open full time beginning the week of June 17th. The revaluation community forum takes place again this Thursday, May 25th, in room MP1 at the Rhoda Center from 7 to 9 p.m. Appraisal Systems will be there along with our tax assessor. If you need information, by all means, attend that event, and you can reach our tax assessor 5 days a week at 201-837-1600 extension 1401. His name is James Tide. We're going to have another confidential paper shredding event that's going to take place. This is one day only on June 11th, Sunday, June 11th, from 8:30 to 12:30, or until that truck is filled. The next one after that is on the weekend of September 9th and September 10th. So again, this is one day. This is an extra day that was given to us Sunday, June 11th, 8:30 to 12:30, and that's in the municipal parking lot. As I mentioned a couple times, the Mobile Motor Vehicle Commission unit is going to be in Teaneck on June 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that's going to be in the parking lot across from 250 Colonial Court, the Rhoda Center. There's a slew of things that you can do there. However, you cannot get a real ID that day. They only do about 20 to 25. It's by appointment only. Those appointment slots are filled already, but you can renew your license, obtain a duplicate, a name change, boat endorsement, veteran designation. You can register to vote or be an organ donor, renew your vehicle registration or get a duplicate. You can surrender your license plates at this event as well. There's a few other things you can do. But what I did is I made arrangements with Motor Vehicle Commission. They do like coming to Teaneck. They like the facility, the parking lot, the setup. And it's rare, but they committed some additional dates for the Teaneck residents. And I'll be posting some more information as we move forward. But the additional dates for service in Teaneck right now are going to be July 14th, August 1st, August 22nd, September 13th, October 18th, and November 9th. So what will happen at each of these events, I will post a link, and the slots fill up pretty quickly, especially for the real IDs. I will post that link, and as we get a little bit closer, so residents can make their appointments if you do need a real ID. And again, that real ID is a new federal requirement. That's for state issued driver's licenses and non-driver IDs, and that helps to prevent fraudulent identification. So as we get a little closer to those other dates, I will post additional information. But again, the next one is on June 9th. No appointment is necessary for some of those services that I mentioned, but the real ID appointments are already taken. The bicycle auction was held last Friday. We yielded a little over $1,200. All 30 bicycles were sold. You also had the Bergen County Job Center here. That was last week. We had a great turnout for that. That was at the public library. I'm hoping to get them back here in the fall. The town began its audit process this past Monday. A team from Bowman and Associates is here. They'll be here until the end of the week gathering information for the 2022 audit. I met with Ms. Baker along with Tom, my deputy manager, and members from our traffic bureau. Again, the goal for me is to put a stop sign at the northwest corner to stop southbound traffic that moves onto Route 4. So DOT again controls, so everyone is aware, DOT controls 500 feet from that intersection off of Route 4. So the town cannot just post a stop sign there. So we're working with DOT. They're in the process of finishing up their traffic count. And Tom and I also looked at, and Traffic Bureau, some other signage improvements for that area. It is a busy intersection. We're going to send DOT a projected trip distribution, and that's because of the new development on Alfred Avenue. And we're also asking for a deacceleration lane on Route 4, but I don't think that's something they're going to consider. Those familiar with Route 4 in that area, it's 3 lanes. However, there's no lane to slow down to get off at Decatur Avenue, making it fairly treacherous. So we'll see if we can put enough pressure on them to consider something like that. Some of the project updates I want to go over: repairs to the Phelps Park Trail is underway. We're going to be resurfacing that with asphalt. It's going to be a nice new asphalt path. And there's also going to be a new asphalt path that will be built that leads to the new bathrooms there in the park. So that work is going to begin this week. We do have a structural engineer coming in to inspect the pedestrian overpass at Windsor and Palisade that connects Windsor and Palisade. We do have again, the engineer coming in. They'll do an inspection of the entire bridge. The big holdup for us is going to be, I hate to say these 3 letters, CSX. We have to obtain a permit from them, and I'm told that generally takes a month or 2 to get that permit so we can conduct a full inspection. Once that inspection is done, we'll know what the extent of the repairs that need to be done. But again, this bridge unfortunately is going to be closed for, I would estimate, a good 4 months. Yep. So it's going to take a little time to get that done. Also, we received from a resident a request for handicap swings at Hart Park, and our DPW was able to order what was needed, and they recently installed those swings in a park for some handicapped children that use that facility. The Voti Park band shell concrete work, that's all completed. We still have to do some asphalt and electrical work, and we're looking at a completion date somewhere towards the end of June, and with the hopes of having this open by July 4th. Demo work at the Voti basketball courts is complete. There's curbing going in this week, and we have a projected completion date sometime mid-July for that project. Again, it's going to be a brand new facility from the surface to the basketball hoops to the poles. Everything will be brand new. It'll be a nice facility once it's done. And the Beverly Road parking lot resurfacing project is currently out to bid. June 6th is the due date. Again, this is the parking lot by River Road, not the one further east. We finalized options for the new Voti Park North bathroom. This is going to be a prefab structure. The plans and specs are underway, and this new bathroom is going to be located across from the splash pad, just south of Court Street. So there'll be a nice facility for people that are using the splash pad or anything on that east side of the park. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Next on the agenda is our Township Attorney's report. Mr. Salmon, floor is yours, sir.
I have nothing to say tonight, except I want to thank you all for the opportunity, for the confidence earlier. At this point, sorry, I thought it was on. Is it on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. That initiation, that's, you guys are all playing prank on me. That's what it is. I just want to thank you all for the opportunity, for the vote of confidence. I am way too new at this point tonight to give a full attorney's report, but I am sure that I will be back at the next council meeting with a lot more to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salmon, and welcome. One more time, welcome. Our next order of business is formal meeting items, our public hearing and adoption of ordinances. Mr. Clerk, can you please read the titles of the ordinances into the record?
Absolutely.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh, sorry.
can I table one before it's read
Of course you
in?
can. You didn't even
You
hear
don't
me.
know which of the two it is. I'd like to table 16/2023 indefinitely, please.
Seconding?
Mr. Mayor. Oh, after you read all the comments. No, after you read, I'll, if it's okay if I can just make a comment.
Motion to table, Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Belcher, Councilman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Organ, Deputy Mayor Katz, Mayor Began.
Yes. Mr. Katz, you want to say something?
To thank Councilmember Organ for her work on this. I did not want to even touch this because I tried to deal with it a few months ago and it was a very challenging situation. So I appreciate that she spent so much time going there a few times and also taking some council members. I just want to mention that. Also, for the next ordinance, I just want to see if the council's still in agreement, as our new attorney will be drafting these probably a bunch of times. We used to put in a sunset clause after 2 years so that that whoever it is that's the applicant that's requiring a handicap parking spot, that they should re-require in case, that person moved. And, because Teaneck has a challenge already with parking spots around town, so they can just reapply after 2 years, without making it too onerous. I just want to see if we're still all in agreement with that. Rather than having handicap spots scattered around town where someone may not even live there anymore.
I'll speak to that. I every so often we have one that comes up and neighbors like, oh, I think they passed away or they moved and we take it down. To wholesale do that when someone's dealing with a handicap situation, they've got a lot on their mind. They got a lot on their plate. The last thing we want is that it sunsets in error and then we've got to cause them that grief, that stress, republish it, do it again, go through the process.
Maybe we can, no, I think what happened was that, we would notify I don't know, maybe the manager can talk
I'm just
about
not
the
looking for
process.
more work. Everyone's busy,
Deputy-
there's a lot going on.
I just want to point out that this is usually like by apartments.
Karen, I think you had your hand up. You wanted to say something.
Deputy, oh,
Oh, wait,
sorry.
Ms. Goldberg, 1 second. Sorry.
No, I was going to say the same. I would hate to add another stress on to people that need a handicap spot, unless it's on us to contact them and not move it if we don't, but then that's extra work on the
If we can ask
employees.
the manager what's done,
Miss-
they may reach out.
Wait.
If it's real
Yeah.
quick, Ms. Goldberg, the floor is yours.
Sorry, Deputy Mayor Katz, I believe I had asked our former attorney about this exact thing because I agree with you. And Mr. Rupp was looking into something where potentially, maybe the manager can correct me if I remember correctly, this was a few months ago, where we would do like an audit because the handicap spots are listed in the ordinances themselves in the code. So the thought was potentially the police would do once or twice a year.
Yes.
Your address in front of your house is listed as a handicap spot. Do you still need it? Yes or no? I think that was something that he was looking into. I'm not sure where that landed, but I do agree with Deputy Mayor Katz on this.
Yeah, I'm either way. My concern is just to make sure the people that need it get it, but the ones that don't use it anymore and are not notifying us, it doesn't affect other residents. that
Correct.
Already have so Councilmember Goldberg's suggestion, it was a good idea. The sunset was something that we were kicking around. Whatever you think would be the most efficient. I understand Councilmember Schwartz and Councilmember Organ's concern not to put any additional burden on anybody.
Would you be
But if they
okay?
move,
Would you be okay with us doing an audit on this
yeah,
and
for
seeing where
sure.
we stand
Yeah,
and maybe revisiting?
if we can, however way you want to do it.
Is everybody okay with that? All right, thank you, Mr. Katz. Mr. Clerk, do you mind
Thank
reading
you.
it into the record, please?
So that was.
Number 16 was tabled indefinitely.
So next up, we had, sorry, I lost my spot in my agenda. Give me just a hot second.
Page 5.
I was
ordinance
reading the
number
language
25,
of that
2023.
ordinance, yeah.
That's where we start.
Ordinance 25-2023, amending section 36-11.2 of Division 1 of Article 2 of Chapter 36 entitled Traffic of the Township Code, adding restricted on-street parking spaces for handicap at 1691 Ardsley Court. We have ordinance number 26-2023, a bond ordinance providing for various 2023. It's still on the agenda. I need to read it by title. For various 2023 capital improvements by and in Township of Teaneck in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, appropriating $9,886,000. Therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $9,414,300 bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof. Last but not least, ordinance number 27-2023, a bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of a fire ladder truck for the fire department of the Township of Teaneck in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,800,000. Therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,714,200 bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Mr. Schwartz? Yeah, we're
The-
not. He has
I-
3.
I thought we were not doing the.
Yeah,
bond
Yeah, we're not
ordinances.
doing them, but they're still on the agenda, so I still need to read them by title. And yes,
Correct. Just on 25. Ready?
26 and 27 we'll be seeing on June 13th.
All right, thank you for that clarification, both of you. The public hearing on this ordinance is now open on just this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard on this ordinance can please come forward and state their names for the record. Comments or questions shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. Is there anyone in chambers who would like to speak on this ordinance? No, anyone on Zoom, Mr. Clerk? All
Okay,
right,
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move ordinance 25 of 2023.
is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Who made that motion?
He made the motion, Councilwoman Organ seconded it.
Just because 26 and 27 are on the agenda, I do also recommend the council to
I will-
table to.
I'll
to
make a
13.
motion to move ordinance 25 of 2023 into
The June 13th meeting.
and to move 26 and 27 to the June 13th.
And
Thank
I'll
you, sir.
second that, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you all. Councilman Schwartz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Belcher.
Yes.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Organ.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Katz.
Yes.
Mayor Began.
Yes.
Adopted, and we'll see the other two on June 13th.
And for ordinance 25, Mr. Schwartz made the motion to approve and Councilwoman Organ seconded it.
Councilman Schwartz. Councilwoman Belcher.
Yes.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Organ.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Katz.
Yes.
Mayor Began.
Yes. All right, let's see. The next order of business is authorizing our township clerk to read the 2023 municipal budget by title only.
(2023) municipal budget.
And now the next order of business is a public hearing on the municipal budget as introduced. Is there anyone in chambers who would like to speak on this? No, is anyone on Zoom? All righty,
Mr. Manager, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a
Yes.
motion to move the 2023 budget as introduced.
I'll second that, Mr. Clerk.
Councilman Schwartz. Councilwoman Belcher.
Yes.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Organ.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Katz.
Abstain.
Mayor Began.
Yes.
Adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business is authorizing the township clerk to read the 2023 Cedar Lane Special Improvement District budget by title.
In theory, we do need to adopt that resolution. Do I have someone to move that?
Yes, Schwartz to
I'll
move.
second it.
Councilman Schwartz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Belcher. Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Organ.
Yes.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Katz.
Yes.
Mayor Began.
Yes.
2023 Cedar Lane Special Improvement District budget.
Adopted. If I'm not mistaken, next, Mr. Clerk, H, public hearing on Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund application, Phelps Park softball fields.
We need to have a public hearing on the Cedar Lane Special Improvement budget and then adopt that other resolution
okay.
also.
Thank you for the clarification. Does anyone in chambers want to speak on Cedar Lane? Anyone on Zoom, Mr. Clerk?
And I'd like to move the Cedar Lane Special Improvement District budget.
I'll second that, Mr. Clerk.
Councilman Schwartz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Belcher.
Yes.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Organ.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Katz.
Yes.
Mayor Began.
Yes.
Adopted.
And now, Mr. Clerk, we can now have a public hearing on the Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund, right?
Yes, and this is for,
Phelps Park softball fields.
they are, yeah.
Anyone in chambers want to speak on this? Anyone on Zoom? All right.
That's all that we needed.
Yeah, we don't have to vote on it.
Sorry. Can I-
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr.
Can I
Schwartz.
vote on Phelps? It's 20 feet from my house. Is that an issue? It's a public park. I don't believe there's any issue. There's no conflict. It is a public park. So with that, I'll make the motion. Is that it?
I don't know.
We do that.
You know what? I'm gonna recuse since there's only 6. They don't need my vote.
But we're only doing a public hearing on it, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, we're not actually voting on it tonight. Yeah. But duly noted, duly noted. Let's see, Mr. Clerk, our next order of business is good and welfare. Any member of the public wishing to be heard at this time can please come forward and state their names for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person, and good and welfare will only last 60 minutes tonight. Ms. Silverberg.
Good evening, council. I wish every single one of you a meaningful Memorial Day. I'm surprised that there are not more people from the public here because of tonight's fabulous program. Can you imagine where our taxes would be if there were no volunteers? There are many volunteers in Teaneck who give of their most precious resource, their time. It is right and good to stand still every once in a while and recognize the vital role that volunteers fill in a society. Tonight's recognition of the volunteer ambulance corps and EMS workers is a way for the representatives, you, of the residents, me, etc., to thank these selfless volunteers. It reminds all of us to participate where and how we can for the greater good of the larger community. If we cannot ourselves volunteer, then there are other ways to support volunteer groups. We can give resources, materiel, money, from $1 to thousands of dollars. Sit down right now and write a check if you are able to the ambulance corps, the food pantry, the Rhoda Center, and of course the library friends. Every contribution counts, and they remind the volunteers that they are appreciated, not taken for granted. To every single person in this town, and there are legions of them, who volunteer to help feed the hungry, clothe the naked, to make smiles break out on children's faces, to save a life, or bring comfort to another human being without regard for gender, race, ethnicity, or class. We see you, and we thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Silverberg. Anyone else in chambers, sir?
Good evening, all. My name is Zach Hussein, residing at 672 Lucy Avenue here in Teaneck. For the last 32 years or so.
Name one more time, sir. I'm sorry.
Zach Hussein.
Zach.
The reason I'm here is I've been having some financial burden regarding a tree that's in front of my house. Over the years, over the 32 years, I've spent over $32,000 with clogged drainage, broken sidewalk, driveway, to the extent that even the township sewer was blocked, causing me like $18,000 to get that done. I've visited the Teaneck Township regarding that, and they sent someone out to measure the tree from the sidewalk to my home, and they said the tree is my responsibility, which at that point in time, I had no problem cutting the tree, but it said it's a tree that is not allowed for me to cut. So I'm here as a retiree now, still going through these hardship with all these broken sidewalk, driveway, and so forth, and still can't get this tree out of me. So I don't know what the township can do for me.
Thank you, Mr. Hussein. We'll be responding after everyone makes their comments. Anyone else in chambers want to speak? Former Councilman Alan Sohn.
Alan Sohn, current Teaneck resident. I want to echo Sandy Silverberg's remarks. And again, it's really tremendously beautiful to see all the work that's done by our volunteers. There are so many volunteers. I think TVAC is really one of the most beautiful elements that we have in Teaneck. To see, again, to be one of the salmon swimming upstream, and to see trying to get into the chambers, and to see all the people leaving, and to see the many, many hours and decades that they have devoted. It was beautiful that you allowed Councilwoman Goldberg to speak after they had all left, and it was beautiful that you didn't let her know that they weren't standing here while she was speaking. It was beautiful to hear at the earlier Good and Welfare at 6 p.m. The kind words that were said to the Garden Club, another group of wonderful volunteers, and the work that's going to be done to pay for their greenhouse. The greenhouse would have cost a lot less had it been done years ago when they first asked for it. Most of these things cost less to take care of, to repair, to replace, to buy, if you do it sooner. That was the case with the Rhoda Center facade. The Rhoda Center facade was peeling off for many years, and by the time it was replaced, it cost a lot more money. It was wonderful also at 6 o'clock to be here, to be present for the appointment of the new township attorney, and to see that there will be, as was cited by Councilwoman Goldberg, significant cost savings. One of the best things that we can do is not only to thank our volunteers, but is to provide our professionals, our firefighters, with the resources they need to do their jobs. Ordinance 27-2023 was tabled this evening, but it seems to be clear that the cost of that ladder truck is only going to increase in upcoming years. It's happened over and over. It takes many, many years. The lead time is significant to get those trucks and to make sure that we get that. The amount of money that needs to be invested at $85,000 and the 5% down payment is a relatively small price to pay, basically to put a fire truck on order. I know that's not on the agenda, and I want to sincerely apologize for not speaking to the budget. But I do want to make sure that this is something that all council members reconsider, that when that ordinance 27-2023 is up next meeting, that you vote in favor of that. I would like to end my remarks, and I'd like to yield back the rest of my entire 3 minutes, which apparently I've never used up. I spoke a lot faster than I realized. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Mr. Clerk, we have someone on Zoom.
Bringing in Maxine Angel.
Maxine, please unmute.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Loud and clear.
ma'am.
Hi, good evening. I'm calling in from a TBO softball game. You seem to schedule your meetings during TBO, so I hope you can hear me. Good evening, everybody. Blessings to all of you for your service to our community. I have a lot of gratitude that I just want to share publicly. The Garden Club is amazing. Thank you so much for that incredible plant sale. What a crown, an absolute jewel for Teaneck. So thank you so much to the Teaneck Garden Club. I want to also thank the Teaneck Sanitation Department, who year round just is so awesome, making everything look easy and keeping our town clean. So thank you so much. And a special gratitude to the Teaneck Police Department. Anti-Semitism is a huge problem and all over the place, and even in Teaneck. And the Teaneck Police Department is so professional and sensitive, and I'm sorry that we have to utilize them to handle these situations, but they're really awesome. And congratulations to all of the TVAC volunteers, and thank you so much for your incredible service. We have used that service for our own family, and thank you. And I am here again to speak about cannabis, and I just want to say that Teaneck is not the town for cannabis dispensaries. For all of the wonderful things we have going on, why would we bring more access to a drug that is neurotoxic, incredibly damaging, especially to young people? And it seems like every week a new study is coming out to show how damaging and how addictive cannabis is. So while it is decriminalized, it doesn't mean that we should be a town that should be selling cannabis to just for recreational use. So I implore you, please consider the residents of our town, especially our children. We just heard from the Board of Education, one of their safety officers, who talked about the damaging effect of cannabis on the students in Teaneck. We don't need to increase access to the substance. So let's continue this conversation, but Teaneck is not the place for cannabis dispensaries. Thank you for hearing me out. Blessings to all of you, and I'm looking forward to observing Memorial Day in our beautiful town. Thank you very much. I yield back.
Thank you, Miss Angel. And a quick shout out. We want to recognize our fire chief, Joe Burchell. Thank you for being here, Chief. We appreciate you. Mr. Clerk, can you bring someone else in from Zoom, please?
Bringing in Cheryl Hall.
Hi, Cheryl. Please unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
Okay, I'm going to try and make it. There's a lot to say tonight. I was there earlier, and congratulations to our new township attorney. And I want to say specifically, thank you to the entire council. we really see that you are working together, trying to get things done for the people, and it's really meaningful. I also want to thank Karen, Oregon, Councilwoman Karen Oregon, because she spoke her truth, and I heard that as I was coming in late, but I did hear that, and I appreciate that, you know, so thank you so much, everyone, and a big shout out to TVAC, and I think I can say on behalf of the TNAC interfaith community, boy, you are angels in our community. Thank you so much for all that you do, that you see and risk. I also want to thank the council for supporting the first the first Pride Parade, June 4th, at starting at 12 p.m. And you can look for some flyers and announcements regarding that. And in a special way, I want to also thank the township for supporting Race Amnesty. I was just finishing a call. This is entirely grassroots from the people of your community. And I really think that it is something that will make a difference. People coming together outside of a crisis, maybe to prevent one. I heard someone talk about anti-Semitism. You know, when we get to know each other, it's hard to hate. I'd also like to thank the council for their support for New Engine for headquarters, which services much of the Northeast. So thank you so much. I know that's next time. And I also wanted to encourage the council to please support a new ladder. It's cheaper this year. And with the rate of development that we have, it's really important to secure our infrastructure as fast as we can to keep up with that. And wow, I made it. Thank you all for your hard work. Shout out to Miss Councilwoman Goldberg for showing up, even in a crisis. We really appreciate you when we see it. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Doug, I think we have someone else on Zoom. Can you
I have
come in?
Valerie Levin on deck.
Hi, good evening. Oh, wait a second. Should have caught this by now.
It's okay, we're here. We can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
It looks like your camera wants to work. There it is.
There we go. Okay, good evening, Valerie Levin, Teaneck resident. I would like to thank the town council for their service. I could not stay up as late as you guys do, so I am really grateful for your service. I have a message here on behalf of Clean Air Teaneck. We are a citizen group that is concerned about the presence of cannabis dispensaries in Teaneck. And we just want the general public to be aware, and the town council, after much reflection and consultation with town stakeholders, our message is being simplified to no dispensaries in Teaneck. We feel that the presence of dispensaries is a net negative, and we hope to join together with many people to keep the dispensaries out. And that is my message for today. If you wish to contact us, we are Clean Air Teaneck, one word, @gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. Thank you so much. Does anyone in chambers want to speak? Mr. Rose, Dr. Powers, Mr. Abbott, Mr. and Mrs. Edison, Dr. Powers. I think there's only one more person left on Zoom, so we might be finishing soon.
Chuck Powers, I believe that's the first that the mayor actually was soliciting my comments. Thank you very much. There is something good going on in Teaneck, and it is in the revitalization of the participation and the activity and the constructive proposals and work being done by both our statutory boards, with the exception of the planning board, which can't get itself organized to get us an OSRP, but the rest of the advisory boards in town, they are doing some incredible work. I went, for example, to the Hackensack River Greenway Advisory Boards meeting last night. It was an extraordinary meeting. They had 2 new members very active. Thank you, council, for revitalizing that advisory board. And what they were sort of laying out is what it is that it will take to get that greenway working its way across our western shore is very important stuff. But we're seeing that in the Environmental Commission. The Teaneck Historic Preservation Commission, about who you heard tonight, has been doing extraordinary work for the last year and a half, led by Mike Norris, but then a good group of diverse public participating in that process, making us aware of the historical aspects. I'd like to say only one thing in sort of, not so much criticism, but sort of pointing something out to you. If we're going to be really transparent, one thing that needs to happen is when council is talking about a specific item, it does not help anyone in the public to know that it is, for example, tonight, 141-2023. We really need when you folks to tell us when you're saying yes or no, abstaining on this or voting no, or advocating something. Specify what it is. Give us at least the title of whatever it is, the resolution or the ordinance that you're talking about, so we can know what's actually going on. It is something that is, a lot of people who follow this council very closely go crazy about the fact that they have to have this document in front of them in order to know what's going on. And I just hope that you will try to remember that as you build this community, which you're doing well, particularly in choosing a new legal staff to take us much more effectively into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Powers. Mr. Clerk, I think you said we had one more person on Zoom.
Jose Zenon.
Hi, Mr. Zenon. Please unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Township Clerk Doug. Again, Jose Zenon from Teaneck. I just want to take a point of personal privilege to really thank the council. I serve at the stigma-free advisory board as chair, and we have we've been activated beginning of this year, and we've been active. And as everyone know, mental health is on the rise. So I wanted to really thank the council for supporting the resolution, that they are fully committed, and the town is fully committed with the resources from the health department, Courtney, and the social service from Alex, and also our liaison, Councilwoman Denise, has been very helpful. There was a small little budget approved, and we got some promotional items. And I also attended the symposium for the Bergen County, which the mayor also, Pagan, attended. And I think is really, really important as I'm learning more about mental health and how important and critical it is. So I really wanted to really thank the council for their support and the township clerk manager to continue our effort to make the public aware of mental health and the stigma-free and the resources that we have, not only here in the town, but in the county. So I appreciate your support, and you'll continue to hear more about the advisory board because we are really actively involved. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Zenon. Mr. Clerk, can you bring the next person in from Zoom?
Hildy Dillon.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, 3 minutes.
Okay. So you saw me earlier tonight. Now I'm home, but I just wanted to thank the council again for voting to hire a new legal team for our town. We're excited about that, and I welcome our new counsel who is part of our meeting tonight. Legal counsel that is part of our meeting tonight. And I also personally want to thank TVAC. They are amazing, as many have expressed here. They have personally helped our family in a very meaningful way. And we really are very proud of their service and the fact that they're all selfless volunteers. They do an incredible job. And it was great to see them honored tonight. I wanted to ask a question that I hope we can get a response to tonight. There are several people that applied for various advisory boards that have not heard yet the status of their applications. I realize that you've been very busy interviewing people and then interviewing and recruiting for the new legal team. It's been a busy couple of months, but those people are, you know, as one of our residents stood up tonight and was supporting all of the volunteerism that goes on in this town. People would like to volunteer their time on these advisory boards. So we would love to hear from you of what your timeline is and when those folks might hear back, whether they have been appointed or not to those boards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hildy. Mr. Clerk, I don't think there's anyone left on Zoom. Does anyone in chambers want to speak before we wrap up Good and Welfare?
Motion to close.
All right, Good and Welfare, that's a wrap. Mr. Schwartz?
Yes, briefly, Mrs. Silverberg still here. Remind me, thank you for the kind words about TVAC. Also, what we didn't mention is, if anybody's interested in joining, or I know someone's interested in joining, as young as 15 and a half years old, we'll train you, and you could be up here as well, getting CPR Save Award, or even better, being on an ambulance with me. I wanted to welcome our attorney. I do wish in Councilman Organ discussed how we split up to Wiener Group with labor. I would have loved if your firm, and I mentioned to you, took all of it on. So hopefully we could see you one day taking it all on so we could avoid any potential conflicts. Dr. Powers, excellent comment. Thank you very much. Something when we sit up here, talk about 31 of 22 or whatnot, we never even think about that. Didn't even dawn on me. So thank you very much for pointing that out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schwartz. Ms. Belcher?
Okay, yes, thank you again, neighbors, for coming out and speaking up. I just want to say for a Race Amity Day on June 11th, racial discrimination and inequality disparities is on the rise. As we witnessed this week with the NAACP formally encouraging a ban on the Sunshine State, we really need to realize, and I think we do as our township, that racial discrimination is hatred. To be understood, we must attempt to understand. It's vitally important that we continue to make every effort. And I just want to mention a date coming up in June is Juneteenth, the weekend of June 17th. It's a perfect opportunity to take part within our community, to see the different activities and partake in those activities. Thank you to the volunteers. I definitely believe volunteers are an integral part of our success of our township, from the Garden Club, the library, the TVAC, fire and police. And I would include all the residents who serve on advisory boards, because you too are servant leaders. And we appreciate every one of our volunteers who volunteer within our township. I just want to lastly mention May is Affordable Housing Month. And it's a great opportunity for our community to collectively advocate for affordable housing for everyone. We think about inflation, interest rates doubling in the past year, broken supply chain, pending, federal craziness when it comes to budgeting. We did, as a result of our development forum, create a survey. We are tabulating the survey that speaks to issues of affordability, specifically ADUs. I have spoken to our new attorney, welcome, about our settlement agreement and how that might help us in our quest for affordable housing within our township. And I really look forward to working with our new attorneys in finding ways in which we can collectively find ways to make housing affordable within our township. And on that note, I just want to mention that the master plan is one of those ways in which we can address that. And there is a master plan community meeting on June 14th, right? June 14th at 7 p.m. at the Teaneck Library. Do try to come out for that. It's at 7 p.m. And just want to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day.
Thank you, Ms. Belcher. Ms. Organ?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a few questions about the dates coming up because June is so busy. So June 9th is the stigma-free walk at 10. June 11th is Race Amnesty at what time?
Amity Day, 2 to 3 p.m. Municipal Green.
Okay, Juneteenth is 17th, 18th, and 19th. There are events. And when is Pride?
June 4th.
June 4th, what time, where?
I have the flyer. I have the flyer.
I'll get it first, I bet.
I'll beat you to it.
Pride in Teaneck, the parade on Palisade Ave begins at 12 p.m. The flag raising will
to
take
3?
place 2:30 to 3. Family Fun
3
Day.
to 7.
Yeah, that's right.
I
June
just
4th.
got the flyer. I'll share it with
Okay,
everybody.
maybe we could put them all together and send it out because it's a very busy month.
It is all on the website. If you'd like, I'd send something to council.
Yeah, or we
We
could
gotta
put
share
it
on social media.
on Facebook or social media or something. Dr. Powers, I agree 100%. I get confused also about what we're talking about sometimes. Sandy, I'm so glad that you stayed to speak tonight about all of our volunteers. And yes, time is a resource that we can't get back. And then I know that we spoke about a few ways that people can join the ambulance corps or contribute financially, but a letter really goes a long way. So if you've had a nice experience, if you want to put it on social media or just drop them a letter, it really does mean a lot. That's it. Thank you for a nice night, everyone.
Thank you, Miss Oregon. Deputy Mayor Katz.
Yeah, just some housekeeping, Mr. Mayor. Can we just, clerk, go through the list of all the people that applied for the different advisory boards and make sure that everyone has their either letter saying that they were appointed or just the process of where they are? And can we-
I'll connect with the personnel subcommittee tomorrow about it.
yeah, and maybe can you also reach out to Deputy Mayor G and
Yep.
just see?
I'll connect with the three of you about it.
Perfect.
Councilwoman Goldberg, if you're there and would like to speak,
Yeah.
please feel free. Oh, terrific. Okay. The floor is yours, ma'am.
I'm here. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So first of all, again, just my apologies to the residents for not being in person tonight. I'm dealing with an emergency. Mr. Hussein, that is an exorbitant amount of money to spend on trees, and I hope that we're able to work with you to address the issue promptly. Perhaps the manager and you can discuss the issue that you're having. I know Julia Street was experiencing similar issues that we just rectified. So I'm hoping we can get that issue alleviated as well. To former Councilmember Stone, thank you for your words and your efficiency and time. We are always open to hearing your words for all 3 minutes that you are allowed to, though. Mr. Clerk, just echoing what Deputy Mayor Katz just said, maybe you can give a quick update on what the next steps is, if members of the public are going to be notified, if, you know, after their interview, just so people are aware to address Ms. Dillon's question. Sorry. Dr. Powers, agree. Maybe we can regularly read the names of all ordinances and resolutions and not just the numbers when we're voting on them, so residents know what is being voted on. That could be considered a good practice that I would wholeheartedly support. And I just wanted to reiterate a resounding welcome to our new attorney, Mr. Salmon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Goldberg. I'd like to start by thanking John Chadanian for his many years of service to the Township of Teaneck and wish him the very best of luck in all his future endeavors going forward. I'd also like to thank all of our residents for being with us here tonight and participating. Regarding advisory boards, we are still deliberating, and our clerk will be reaching out very soon to let all of our applicants know more about our timeline when it comes to appointments. And lastly, Mr. Manager, can we please look into whether we can do something to help Mr. Hussein with his tree issue on Lucy Avenue? And then if there's anything you would like to discuss about tonight, Mr. Manager. please
Yeah,
feel free. The
I'll
floor is
just
yours.
give the resident my card with my cell number. Call me in the morning and let me see what I can do and take it now.
All right, our next order of business is our consent agenda, and all matters listed on the agenda are considered to be routine in nature by council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If any discussion is desired by council, that particular item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Mr. Clerk, can you please read the amount of the bill list into the record?
I lost my cheat sheet. Forgive me. One second.
It's okay. Page 7,
I got it.
J, consent agenda.
Bill list in the amount of $1,484,591.11.
I'll second that.
Councilman Schwartz? This is the consent agenda. Okay. Councilwoman Belcher,
Yes.
Councilman Goldberg, Councilwoman Oregon,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Katz,
Yes, with an abstention on the bill list.
Mayor Pagan.
Yes.
Yes on all.
All right, our next order of business is our introduction of ordinances. Mr. Clerk, can you please read the title of the ordinance into the record?
Absolutely. This is ordinance number 28-2023, an ordinance amending Article 2, Parking Division 1 generally in Chapter 36 of the Township Code entitled Traffic to add a portion of Irvington Road.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Do we have a motion to approve this ordinance? I'll second that.
Councilman Schwartz? Yes to introduce?
Yes, yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Councilwoman Belcher?
Yes.
Councilman Goldberg? Councilman
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Katz?
Yes.
Mayor Pagan?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pass. Thank you,
Oh,
everyone,
Scott's
for
bringing
being
some
with us
good
tonight.
luck.
Thank you so much, and we hope you all have a peaceful evening.
That's